residential real estate market in single-family
Yeah,
homes
that's-
that we have in South Orange and Maplewood. People who are empty nesters or their children have just gone to college are selling their homes. And the thing is that there's no place for them to take that investment and stay here. There's no condos, there's no townhomes, so that they could downsize into something that's more manageable for the next phase of their life. You know, the reality is they have to take, now they've made this money on a wonderful home, and we all know what the median prices are here in South Orange, and we have the third best real estate market in the state. But they have to now take that and they have to reinvest it, otherwise they'll risk getting capital gains tax on it. So they have to leave. They
Yeah,
have-
I've heard that people, because of the good school system, they come in, have their kids go to school and move out.
And the taxes are very high, and 57% of the taxes go to the school district. So it's true, people come here for the schools, and then when they're done, they don't wanna pay the taxes anymore. But if you had housing stock that allowed people to downsize and still stay in the community, because I know a lot of people who, even though their children are now gone to college, or they're about to go to college, who still love this community, and now that you've been ingrained in it for 20 years, don't wanna leave it. I know plenty of people like that, but there's no place for even them to take their money that they've made and reinvest it into the community. So even in terms of that type of housing stock, we're deficient. We have a lot of single-family homes that are worth a lot of money, and we have a little bit of everything else.
There's
And
not much land here, is there?
there's not a lot of land here. We are literally a village, and about 2.5 square miles of it. So, yeah, we're not.
I know there's huge apartment houses, you know, the Mews under the bridge,
Yes,
across the street from that.
I like that.
That's
Gateway.
huge
That's
too,
nice.
it goes way back.
Yeah.
yes.
I like, I like that complex, it's nice, but they're expensive now too. You know, I have a friend who was looking there,
Yeah,
and even studios were like 1,800 or something.
Yeah.
I
they're
can't
all,
hear you.
listen, they're
I
all
said
really.
the studios in that building, that's also gotten very expensive. That Gateway, I think it's called something, that's also gotten very,
Across from the Mews?
yeah, that's
I
gotten
didn't know
very,
what it was called, yeah.
I think it's called, it's great. A friend of mine was looking in there, but
Oh,
it's
yeah?
gotten very expensive also.
These are all
Very
really
expensive,
nice,
yeah.
they're doing, as I said, I'm not against development, and I think the buildings that have come in are fine, they're nice, I've been in many of them and, met clients in them, and I think that, you know, they're great, but they aren't allowing enough other people to come in, is the problem.
Those are not gonna appeal, that population you're talking about, older people who wanna stay, maybe want a townhouse, or those like that, I've been in the Valley ones, they are not gonna appeal in any way to that population. They're they're like all kitchen practically. I mean, they're not well designed, I would not wanna buy, even if they were condos, they're not set up for like even older family living, they're just
Right,
not.
right. I've seen those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those aren't, now you'll talk to the designer, and I don't think that they're super well functioning in design, so that's like a separate
Yeah.
conversation, but.
But I mean, that's not gonna attract the kind of people you're talking to stay here. Those are designed for the commuters, the young people that go to New York, that's basically what it was. you know,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, yes, no, and for sure, it's about the planning, about having a really detailed understanding of how many people we really want to be in this community. What do we want this community to be? And who do we want to include in it? And if we want to include everyone, then we're going to have to build an infrastructure that allows for that.
There is a store, also like a supermarket here, Ashley.
Yes, Ashley.
This is a very
That's
good,
great.
a good store for people who live here in South Orange.
Yes, yeah, it's a great store.
Very.
It is.
And
It's-
Stop and Shop is good too, they came in, I mean, it's not
Yeah.
in town, but it's pretty close, and that's
Yes,
because,
totally, absolutely. I think that there's been progress. I think the rate of progress, if you ask people who have moved in the last 3 to 7 years, is super slow, super slow. And I think the perspective is coming from maybe from a New York perspective of, I lived in a neighborhood that was, I would say, okay, on the edge of really, really nice neighborhoods, but my particular street was just okay. And I moved in when a really great, like an Ashley's, had moved in. So there was an Ashley's, a 5-star Michelin restaurant, the Subway right on the corner,
Yeah,
and then a condo building, which is
And
where I
then-
lived. And that's all that was there, and the rest of it was parking lots and dollar vans and, you know, people urinating on the street. It was not a nice place, other than my
These three
building and
buildings.
the rest, and the grocery store. And the reason I talk about it is that now I go back 3 years later to meet clients or see friends, and it's a completely different place. It doesn't even look like that anymore. But then again, the question is, what did they lose by converting that entire street into basically condo buildings, hotels, and luxury apartments? And what they lost was the soul of what made it what it is. And everybody, you know, if you move to a place, you kind of miss the old place a little bit. And I go back and I scratch my head going, wow,
Where is this? that
I'm
you-
kind of glad I left. I lived in Brooklyn.
I thought you said.
I lived in downtown Brooklyn
Oh, downtown, nice.
on Skimmerhorn between
Oh,
Hoyt,
yeah.
Hoyt and Smith Street. So right, one block from the courthouse.
In the back.
One block from the courthouse. I lived right there. And it wasn't, you know, I lived next to the MTA building. You know, not a super, you know, by no means super great, but now there's a, you know, $1.5 million condos that are on the block from where I had lived. And when I lived there, trust me, that's not what I lived in. It was more affordable. It allowed people like me to live there and flourish there, and it's not what it is anymore. It just isn't. And I think, and what happens when you let the diversity leave
Yeah.
is you lose the soul of a place. And so all of you bring that to this town. You bring the color, the diversity, you know, and so do the students, and so
Yeah.
each one brings their color. And if we don't make room for everybody, we'll lose our soul.